these type of leaders, caregivers, we don't always open to receive as much as we give out. And why this is a problem is because we can have a misbalance. We can fall into states of burnout, of exhaustion, and resentment. And it does not have to be that way. Let's get started. Hello, my beautiful souls. Hello, my leaders. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Lisa Jeffs, intuitive coach for business leaders worldwide, helping you create more influence and impact through awakened confidence. Thank you for joining me today. Today, we're going to talk about journaling. Journaling to expand our capacity to receive, which coincides quite nicely with my latest journal, self-love journal for the woman who gives a lot. So who is the woman who gives a lot? I would say this is quite fitting for a majority of women that I know, and many men, to be honest, who are the typical leaders, the givers, the people who always want to make sure that you're okay, that you're doing well, the empaths. And sometimes as these type of leaders, caregivers, we don't always open to receive as much as we give out. And why this is a problem is because we can have a misbalance. We can fall into states of burnout, of exhaustion, and resentment. And it does not have to be that way. What we want to do is we want to learn how to fill our cup so it's overflowing. And then we can provide and we can give more. Not that we're only filling our cup so we can give, because that's not the only reason why we as souls have decided to come here. And I know that there are teachers who teach that the whole purpose is to contribute and give back and to serve. And me, as a humanitarian, as a coach, as a natural born giver, do not agree with that. There needs to be a balance between giving and receiving. And for many of the caregivers and the givers of the world, a big part of our learning here is to learn how to receive and to give to ourselves and to not feel guilty about it. I've recently launched my newest journal, self-love journal for the woman who gives a lot. 30 days of prompts and challenges to love yourself and master the art of receiving. I created this journal to be a welcome companion as you learn to fill your cup and to create a life where you are overflowing daily. Why? Because one, it's magnetizing when you are in a state of overflow. People want to be around you. You have this beautiful, I don't really like to use this word, it's not my favorite word, but it's very fitting for this, yummy energy that people gravitate to. If you are a leader of some capacity, whether you are leading a team, you have a business, you are leading your mission, you want to be in a state where you are magnetizing people to you. You want to be in a state where people want to hear what you have to say. They want to hear and listen and be a part of your mission. It's very important that we start learning as natural givers to receive. All right. So there's a picture here. And if you're listening to the audio, you can come on YouTube to see the picture. But this is a picture that I drew to represent the overflow. Self-love is your birthright. It is not selfish to give to yourself, to make sure that you are overflowing with love, with self-love and admiration and self-care. What is self-love when we really break it down? Self-love to me is a practice as well as a state of being connected to one, of remembering that we are all connected as one. And it's a practice. It's a practice that we put into play daily. From the moment we open our eyes to the moment we close our eyes and go to sleep for the night. It is how we make decisions. It is what we prioritize. It is the boundaries that we set for ourselves. Boundaries is huge. Hands up if you need support setting better boundaries. This is a challenge for a lot of the givers of the world. It's a challenge for a lot of the leaders of the world, even when leaders need to have this most firm boundaries. As a leader, as a business owner, as someone committed to contributing to this world in a big way, to really changing this world, you must be prioritizing your own energy. You must be acknowledging that boundaries are important, even when they can be uncomfortable to set, especially if we have not been setting them for a long time. That brings me to a story that just popped into my mind. So I'm going to share it with you because maybe you can relate. When I was an adolescent, there was a feeling of me being kind of on the outskirts. Even though I had friends, I had lots of friends, and I was one of those type of people who were friends with a lot of different individuals in school. All right, I just did my own thing. I was friends with this group, friends with that group, and I didn't really stick to one thing. In my high school, I would always take a lunch class so I could get out early. This just shows how much of an introvert I was. It was, let me take a lunch class so I can get out early, avoid the crazy rush going on the bus, and I would go to work after school. So I was the type of person who I really valued when people would reach out and say, hey, you want to do this? You want to go here? You want to spend some time together? I really appreciated being a part of something, because there was many times where there was always a feeling I felt odd or different or not part of a group, even though, like I said, I had a lot of different groups of friends. It was more of an internal feeling. So when I would have individuals asking me, but I really didn't want to go to a lot of these things because the energy expended was a lot. And I'd rather just chill at home or chill doing something. I didn't really want to get dressed up and go to certain places. But instead of saying no, I would make up an excuse, or I would just not answer the phone when it was time to go out, because I was afraid that saying no would mean that friendship was going to be negatively impacted, maybe even go away. Maybe they wouldn't want to be my friends anymore, or they wouldn't ask me to anything. I'm not sure why I didn't think that not answering the phone or making up excuses all the time would affect it. But it was really saying no that I had a lot of trouble with. And this is a challenge for a lot of individuals that are the natural givers, is starting to say no, and having no being one of your best friends. Now, I'm not saying always say no, because there are some times where we have to learn how to say yes. And we have to learn how to say yes to opportunities. Because if we want to learn how to receive and open up our capacity to receive, we actually have to be saying yes to certain things. But when you are first starting out, if you're feeling like, you know what, I'm feeling really a little bit burnt out. I'm feeling a little bit resentful that I always have to be on, that I always have to be the one doing something, that I can't really say no. I got to kind of take care of everything because people count on me to take care of everything. Then I want you to start asking yourself, what is it going to take for you to be comfortable saying no? What needs to happen? Because unfortunately, a lot of people get to the point where something happens and they have to say no, such as their health is affected, such as they're literally in a state of burnout where they can't go even if they wanted to. And then they are forced to say no. We want to start before we get to that point. Because the magic of saying no, when we are honoring ourselves and honoring our boundaries, is we are teaching people how to treat us. We are teaching people that we respect our own energy enough to say no. And they will start to respect our space and our energy as well. And if they don't, then they will go on their merry way and they will do their own work or not. The boundaries that you start setting are going to have a positive effect on your life. Let me know if this resonates. In my new journal, the Self-Love Journal for the Woman Who Gives a Lot, on day 7, we start exploring boundaries. And I'm going to leave you with a prompt that you can take and start exploring on your own. Identify a time you said yes, but wanted to say no. What held you back? What did you believe would happen if you said no? This is where the magic starts to unfold and uncover. In really starting to understand our deepest fears, our shadows, our innermost workings. And when we start to do this work, when we start to explore why we have certain patterns, why we have certain behaviors, why do we feel like we need to give more than we receive? I'm a fairly good receiver, but even I need to continue to work on receiving. As natural givers, we often have work to do around receiving, exploring why this is. Journal for the Woman Who Gives a Lot. If you're interested in getting a copy, it is on Amazon's everywhere. I will leave the link to Amazon.com, but please check your local Amazon because it'll be more beneficial for you to get it on your local one. I'm going to continue these conversations. I would love to know your feedback on self-love, on receiving. What do you want to learn more of? What would you like to receive more of? Love, money, opportunities, respect? When I say receiving, what would you like more of? Let me know. Leave me a comment. And if you found this valuable, I would love for you to subscribe. And as always, I appreciate you. Thank you for sticking around. And let's stay connected.